Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Harika. So this video is all about how you can actually display items into a drop down in the most simplest way possible, and also how you can get the items that are selected by the user into some of the display that's there on the UI. So how you can actually do that. Before we actually get into the step-by-step tutorial, let me just show you a quick demo of how it would look like and what we are going to achieve by end of this video. So if you see here, I am just asking the user to pick the tool you are master at, and this drop down contains multiple automation tools. So once UiPath, automation, anywhere, Power Automate, all that. So as soon as a user selects that, we are going to display the dynamic value you have selected UiPath. And let's say if user selects Power Automate, automation anywhere, automation anywhere. So this is how we are going to display. So how we are going to fetch the value as per what's been selected by the user, and how to display these values into the dropdown. So in the previous video, I've already shown one way of displaying these values into the dropdown, that is using data service through entities. And there's also, I mention that how you can do this through choice set as well, right? But this is the most easiest way without involving anything with the data service. You can give the values on app itself, App Studio itself, and you can get them displayed over there. So if you don't have any data service or any entity linked with your app, this is the easiest way that you can have the items written in your App Studio itself, and you can have those items displayed in your app. Okay, so let's get into the video and see how you can get this done. And also, I have made a small change in my videos, because we have a lot of VB apps videos coming up on my channel. So one of my subscriber requested to maintain a numbering system for all the videos that are there in the playlist. So going forward, I ensure that every video has a number against it, just like this. So let's say it's a 14. That means I am this video is going to be 14th place in the playlist, 14th video in the playlist, right? So similar to that, it will be easy for every one of you to go through step by step, and also it will help you to understand how many videos are there and everything that you need to cover into that particular playlist to become master at VB apps or any such kind of topic or the playlist. So yes, um having said that, let's get into the video and see how we can do this step by step. By end of this video, you can also get this done if you follow this parallelly and do along with me. So yeah, let's get this started. So firstly, to do this, I'm going to select one new app. So let's say demo drop down. Okay. And here, I'm going to first take a control, which is drop down. Okay, just pull that over here. So here in the label, we can just edit as we need. Select the top tools that top tool that you have expertise at. Okay, so we are telling the user to select the top tool out of the tools that we are providing. So for that, okay, let's do a little bit of styling, because this label placement in the center or to the left, and the label is fine. Let's change the 250 to 350. Yeah, this is good, right? And after that, we should enter some values into the drop down. So how we can do that? So if you go over here in the source, right, the list source, just check the type of the variable. So this is a list source of T. That means it is basically a list source, right? So I am going to create a variable and pass it over there. So before to that, let's go over here, and I'm going to create a variable. drop down variable. Let's prefer keeping standard namings like variable drop down. Okay. And this I'm going to select it as an array of strings. That means text, right? So this is a variable drop down, which is a variable I have created and it's of type array of strings. Create it. So I want this drop down, this values to be initialized as soon as the page gets loaded, right? So in the main page itself, whenever we preview the app, right, it loads the app and it shows that particular content in the app. So whenever it loads it, I want this to be created. So I'm creating an rule at the main page itself. So when I click over here, I can see all the items that are displayed in my drop down. So create an rule here saying set value. So what value needs to be set here? I have my app variable, which is variable drop down. So I want my variable drop down to be set as what? So I want the value to be fetched from array, right? So I have created, this is an array. So now I'm initializing the array and providing the values over here. So my tools or UiPath, Power Automate, Automation Anywhere, and Pega. Okay. So these are my tools. And I want the user to select one of the tool out of whatever is provided in the drop down. So these are the values that I want to be displayed in my drop down as soon as I load the page, right? So that's where we have created this rule at the main page. And I want these values to be loaded into this particular variable. Perfect. First thing is done. And after it's been loaded into that particular variable, I will assign that variable over to my list source, right? So how can I actually call that particular variable or fetch the values from that particular variable, right? So if you see here, we have a variable type called app data source, apps data source, and we have to follow this particular syntax, apps data source dot from which variable exactly you wanted to get this variable drop down, because this variable we have set it at the main page itself. When the page is loading itself, we have set the values into this variable, right? So this is the way you have to call it. So once that's done, this variable, this particular drop down contains all the values that we have given. So let's try to preview this and see if we can achieve till this point. So you have, if you haven't watched my previous video on how you can actually display the values in the drop down using the values that are there in the entity, I would suggest you please watch that particular video. That will also be helpful in order to display the items into your drop down. So here I'm asking select the top tool that you have expertise at. So if you see, all these values are coming up, right? Perfect. So any one value only can be selected. Perfect. So now what is the next thing? Whatever the value that user selects over here should be displayed at the bottom. So for that, I am taking a control, which is label. Okay. I'm taking the label, and in the label, I am going to give a value over here. So what is the value? I already told you, if you wanted to fetch the value that is selected, you have to follow a particular syntax in the VB apps. So what is that particular syntax? You have to follow the pattern, right? The particular tree. Main page dot drop down. As this is the drop down, we have one more function, right? So if you see here, one more function, that is selected item, right? If it's a normal any other type like text box or something of that sort, we have seen that directly by giving that text box dot value would be providing you this entered value into that particular text box. But as this is a drop down, we have one more function, which is selected item. Okay, if it's a multi drop down, multiple select drop down, then in that case we will get selected items. But this is a drop down. Here we have the possibility to select only single item. So that's why we have got selected item as a function. Okay. So I'm going to do a new video on multiple select as well, which will be the next video. So I will talk more about how you can display the items that are selected using multiple drop down as well in the next video. So I will be posting that video also soon after this. I'll be explaining you how you can do that using multiple select also. I mean, mostly, ideally, this will all look similar, but there will be small syntax change where we have to write a little bit of code to fetch the values. Okay. So here, main page drop down dot selected item dot toString. So we should not display this all the time, but only when the value is selected, right? So if string dot is null or empty, right? Then we will not display anything. Otherwise, the selected tool is, or you have selected, right? Whatever the value that they selects, this particular value. All right, perfect. So this is the way we want this to be displayed. So let's go over here, do the preview. So I'm coming over here, then select UiPath. You have selected UiPath, selected Power Automate, selected Automation Anywhere. So how dynamic is this? So great. So this is how you can actually do, display the values in this drop down and also fetch the values from the drop down and display it in a label or wherever you want, basically to fetch the values, whatever they are selected. So the next video is going to be on multiple select drop down, how you can actually display the values in the multiple select drop down and how you can fetch the values that are selected in the multiple select. So that is also going to be very interesting tutorial. So don't miss it out. Do not miss the video as soon as I upload. You know the drill. Do subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you will get the video as soon as I upload it. And also if you like the videos, please hit the like button and also share across your friends who are exploring the similar kind of tools and technologies. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video next time. Thank you so much. Bye.